Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, welcome to the FightersRep podcast, episode 59. I'm your host, the always right on his predictions and sick of it, George Francis, the FightersRep Fez, alongside not only my usual co-host, the legend of South Miami Heights, Gary Ignorant Behavior, but we've also got Michael Sugar Bomb Claycomb in the house for this one. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
First of all, it ain't South Miami Heights, it's Richmond Heights. You messed up, motherfucker. But go ahead, Claycomb.
You know me. Same old training and teaching, feeling good, feeling pumped after my last fight. Looking forward to FightersRep 27.
You know, I love it. I love it. And we do have Claycomb lined up for a fight coming up on November 23rd. It's just 6 weeks out. You know, how are you feeling, Mike? I mean, are you in training camp? Are you ready for this thing or what?
Yeah, I started training camp about 2-3 weeks ago. As I always do, getting ready. I don't really care who's in front of me. I kind of prep the same as always, so it's kind of just routine for me. You know, I just get in camp and hit it hard. Yeah,
and he'll be taking on Ricardo Maldonado out of Blitz Muay Thai. It should be a fantastic fight. As usual, Sugar Bomb's never in a boring fight. But the reason we're here today, aside from talking to the Sugar Bomb and talking about FightersRep 27, which is going down November 23rd, get your tickets, is this Beterbiev, this Artur Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol fight. I wanted to give our reaction. I think it's going to get a little hot and heavy in here today, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, if you're wearing underwear, please feel free to go to the bathroom and come back commando because it's going to get real hot in here. And, you know, and I'm just, you know, I want to preface this by saying that I'm just absolutely sick and tired of getting this shit right all the time. I mean, it's just the pressure's just mounting and it's just getting crazy. And the reason we brought Claycomb on here for another reason is because he's a big fan of Dimitri Bivol. I want to say, Claycomb, that you've styled a little bit of your fighting, your boxing after him, or you really look up to him and admire him. It's a difficult style to emulate. You got to be really athletic. But a style that I knew in my prediction, as stated on this channel, would come up short against the inimitable, impregnable,
oh my God,
unbelievable athlete that is Artur Beterbiev. So, you know, we saw what happened on Saturday. You know,
hurry up with the field. Let's get into it.
A lot of people said a lot of people said a lot of things. A lot of people said a lot of things. We'll start with Gary.
No, I want to hear what Sugar Bomb has to say. He's the football fan. I want to hear what Sugar Bomb. Sugar Bomb, what did you think about that scorecard? What did you think?
I want to preface this by saying Sugar Bomb is biased towards Bivol, most likely.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
And you're looking for a teammate on this one, Gary. Go ahead, Sugar Bomb.
Go ahead. I was asking.
Okay. I have a couple of thoughts. My first original thought, I was obviously disappointed because I did feel like Bivol did edge the rounds, but I felt like because in the later rounds he kind of took his foot off the gas and let Beterbiev not really hit him, but pressure him. I felt like that swayed the judge's opinion. But when you look at the stats, the efficiency between accuracy punches and the number of punches landed, Bivol was up on the cards. So I felt like he won, but I can understand how the judges can see the pressure that Beterbiev put and gave it to him the other way. So, I mean, it is what it is. I do feel like they should do a rematch. Yeah, I thought it was a great fight from both sides. I actually do like Beterbiev. I am a Bivol bias here, but I do like the power that he puts because it's scary. And when you got a heavy hitter like that, like one wrong slip up and you're done. You know, like you got to be perfect.
Yeah. Now he's trying to sway the crowd and everybody by saying you are a Bivol fan and all this, but he picked Beterbiev. So he has a stake in the game too. He's been sucking Beterbiev off for a while now. So don't let him do that to you. You can say what you want to say. That's what Now, this is what I'm saying. You're right, George. You were right about this fight by technicality. That's just my opinion. Technicality.
Yeah.
He did not win this fight. And a matter of fact, my opinion is this fight was not even close for the first 9 rounds. There were close rounds. Hold on, wait. You got me?
Yeah.
They were close. I think George froze. Can you hear me, Click on?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think George froze.
George, you good? Over in Cali now, see? That's you shouldn't have Florida, man.
Yeah.
Cali sucks.
Even the internet's like, cut this dude off.
Good. I mean,
cut this dude off.
Go ahead.
Well,
your opinion. That's where I lost you. Your opinion.
Okay. In my opinion, okay, I didn't think it was a close fight through the first 9 rounds. Now, it was close rounds, but it wasn't a close fight, meaning that some of the rounds were close, but I had it. I mean, I had Beterbiev only winning round 3 and round 8. I said 7 on the phone with you, George. I rewatched it. I meant round 8, not 7. Round 8 and round 3.
You had Beterbiev winning round 8?
Yeah.
You had Beterbiev winning round 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. 8 and 3. 8 and 3. I rewatched it to make sure so I can come on here with some good facts.
So you thought Beterbiev round number 3 and number 8?
Yes.
Just 2 rounds in the whole fight?
No. Up into round 9. Round 9, between round 9 and round 1, he won 2 rounds.
Okay.
He won 2 rounds. So it wasn't a close fight at that point, in my opinion.
And then who'd you give 9, 10, 11, and 12?
No. I gave 9 to Bivol.
Okay.
10, 11, and 12 I gave to Beterbiev.
So you had it 7-5.
Yeah, 7-5. And
I had it a draw. So I mean, we're not that far off.
But you're taking credit. No, don't do that, George. You're taking credit for being right. You're taking credit. Even you told me on the phone, I can't see where he won. I thought it was a draw. I can't see where as no scorecard I can pick where Beterbiev won the fight, but I can see it. But you thought it was a draw.
How many shots of Hennessy did you have when you were watching the fight, Gary?
None at all. I came off of coaching football. We lost. We got our ass kicked by like 40-0. Okay? All right. So
listen, I can't even say that because I had it 6-6. So you only had it one round.
Yeah. So my thing is that he won the last 3. He won the last three rounds. 10 was close, but I still think Beterbiev won 10, 11, and 12. Right? I only think he won 2 before that.
Yeah.
And my thing is that this is my thing is you pride yourself on clean shots. Who land the more effective shots, the more cleaner shots? He backed Beterbiev up in the 7th round with I believe it was an uppercut.
Yeah,
it was an uppercut he caught him with, and Beterbiev went back to the ropes. That's a clear sign that he felt that. Okay, yeah. and you say from round. I'm not gonna say what you said. I'm gonna let you say what you said on the phone, which I totally disagree with. But anyway.
Well, look,
go ahead.
I appreciate what you're saying. You know, our scorecards are totally different. If you gave Beterbiev 8, I actually gave Bivol 8. That was the only round I gave Bivol after round number 6. That was the only round I gave Bivol was 8. So we're totally flipped.
Well, you told me round 1 through 5 you gave Bivol all.
I will. I'll discuss it now. But I want to ask Michael. Michael, did you? I mean, I'm sure you weren't.
I was just round.
I'm not sure if you were scoring round by round, Michael. But like, what were you feeling? What were you feeling going into the decision? I mean, what did you think? You said you thought Bivol edged it, but I mean, if you were to score it, in hindsight, what would you say you would have had it? And what was the reason for your score?
I actually have a pretty similar scorecard to Gary, except for round 8. I thought round 3 was Beterbiev, but I thought the last 3 rounds, 10, 11, and 12, were Archer as well. And I thought everything else was Bivol. And the reason why I'm saying just because he was landing punches and punches compared to Archer.
Yeah.
Like even though he was pressuring Bivol and getting him to move around more, I felt like it wasn't as great as the punches that was being dished out by Bivol. I thought Bivol's punches were, even though he was fighting backwards, it counted more than the aggression. But and every judge is different. So I mean, some people buy more than getting hit in bunches. Some people do the opposite, like me. Personally, I thought the punches landing was enough to take the round. So I do think. So I don't think there was one distinct round from Bivol. I felt like it was close in every round he did win, but he was winning it in my view. You know.
Yeah. Well, I completely disagree with the both of you. The way I had I had it as follows, and I watched the replay, right? And I also got the chance to look at the Sky Sports commentary broadcast. I saw their scorecard. The broadcasters over there in the UK. As I was scoring the fight, Gary, before I watched it, because I didn't get to watch it live, because I'm running around like a chicken with its head cut off with, my kid stuff too, just like Gary is with baseball and everything else. And I watched the replay. Gary was telling me it was a ripoff. I heard a lot of people say it was a robbery, and then I heard a significant amount of people also saying no, it was fine. Beterbiev won, this and that. So I went back and watched it. Through round 5, as I'm watching this, you guys, I'm scoring it round by round, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After the 5th round, I said, "Holy shit, I've got it 5-0 Bivol." I couldn't give Beterbiev a single round. And I just want to let you know what my criteria is. Right, my criteria is in accordance, I believe, with the ABC boxing rules, where you look at the significant strikes landed, right? So if I hit you with a really good shot and you hit me with, 2 or 3 pity pat shots that don't do anything, or I block most of them, I win that round with that one big significant strike. So it just appeared to me in the first 5 rounds of the fight that Bivol was doing the cleaner work. He was landing the cleaner shots. When Beterbiev was landing, they were kind of on the glove. They were barely landing. Even if there was a round here and there in the beginning where he was throwing more volume, it wasn't having the impact. It wasn't giving me the ooh and the ah that Bivol's was, because Bivol's shots were clean, and I thought those were significant shots, effective shots. You know what I mean? Then the 6th round came along, and I'll tell you what I think happened, and then you guys can tell me what you think happened. What I think happened in the 6th round is that style, which I told Gary, who doesn't want to ever listen to me, I told him on this podcast right here on this channel, right, where I'm giving out free game, like forget $1 million a game, it's $1 billion a game I'm giving out here. I told him that style is a cool style, it's a pretty style, but do not conflate athleticism with skill. Just because everybody thinks Bivol's technically superior or whatever, a lot of them think so because he's more athletic. He's got that in and out Soviet style. But as I said, and you can quote me and write it on my gravestone, all right? As I said on this podcast, I said that style burns a lot of energy, though. And in the second half of that fight, Beterbiev's going to do what Beterbiev always does. He's going to come on strong, and Bivol's going to start to fall apart because he's not going to be able to maintain that pace, that rhythm. And Beterbiev doesn't need to, Michael. You know why? Because he sits back. He sits back and he waits and he explodes when he has to. In my opinion, a more efficient style. So I thought it was super close, but in the 6th round, it was a toss-up round. For me, I wasn't sure who to give it to. I felt like Beterbiev just edged it. I almost scored it a 10-10 round or 9-9 or whatever you would do as an even round. I almost scored it even because I thought it was so close. But I wasn't biased here. I mean, I gave Beterbiev, 0 points from round 1 through 5. I gave it the whole fight to Bivol. 6th round, this dude just could not handle the pressure anymore.
So let me ask you something.
Wait, let me finish.
I just want to ask you something real quick. I'm gonna let you finish.
Go ahead.
I just want to ask you something. In the 7th round,
Yes.
when Bivol hit Beterbiev with the uppercut and sent him back to the ropes, and he went. You really thought he lost that round?
It wasn't. I thought he lost that round.
Oh my God! All right, go ahead.
I didn't think that one punch, whatever it is, because I don't remember it.
He went to get on him. He went to get on him.
I didn't think that one punch made up for all the punches Beterbiev was ending. Let me tell you what impression I had for the second half of the fight. Something that I saw multiple times in the second half of the fight. You guys tell me. So again, like I was saying, I felt like this guy collapsed in the 6th round. Multiple times after the 6th round, 7, I gave 8 to Bivol and nothing else. 9, 10, 11, 12, I gave to Beterbiev. Multiple times, what I witnessed was Bivol on his bike trying to get the hell out the way while Beterbiev was hitting him and walking him down and trying to chase after him because this guy had nothing left, you guys. He had nothing left in the second half of this fight. Let me ask you a question, which Coach Derek Collinsworth asked me. I'm going to ask it to both. You will start off with Michael. Who would you rather be at the end of that fight? At the end of that fight, who would you rather be? Bivol looking like Bivol or Beterbiev looking like Beterbiev? I mean, who would you rather be? That's my question.
I'm gonna start first, Mike.
Go ahead.
What rounds are we talking about? Because 10, 11th, and 12th, I would rather be Beterbiev. All right. Even in the 8th round, I'd rather be Beterbiev.
Yeah.
But all the other rounds, I would rather be Bivol.
1 through 5.
Honestly, 1 through 9, I'd rather be Bivol.
Yeah, I don't know about
Even though I feel he lost 2 of those rounds, I'd rather be him. You know why? Because a lot of those shots that were being thrown by Beterbiev weren't landing. You have to look at the CompuBox stats. No.
The CompuBox doesn't tell you who won a fight. The CompuBox doesn't tell you who won a fight. Gary, you're frozen.
Face to be frozen.
So, Mike, we're gonna.
Hello.
You're back. Okay, I was saying the CompuBox does not tell you who wins a fight. That's volume. That doesn't tell you who wins the fight. Michael, we're gonna hand it off to you because Hurricane.
Hello, I'm here.
Between Hurricane Helene,
I'm freezing now,
and Hurricane.
We have a lot of hurricanes.
Gary's hurt right now.
Yeah.
So, Mike, I asked you, end of the fight, right? I'm just saying, who would you rather be at the end of that fight? I hear what you're saying.
Hello, you got me now, right?
Barely.
Go ahead and finish what you're saying.
You lost your turn. You're gonna get your turn once.
Go ahead.
Once Adelphia Cable fixes your junk. But
we had hurricanes. What's your excuse?
But Hurricane, yeah. So who would you rather be at the end of the fight, Mike? I'm gonna ask you that, and you can give me your honest opinion. I mean, who would you rather be at the end of that fight?
I would still say Bivol just because I felt the earlier rounds he won it. But if the fight were to have continued from round 12 and gone like another 3 rounds,
he dies. Yeah. He gets killed. He gets killed.
I think Bivol did enough to win it in the earlier rounds that the later rounds it wasn't able for him to catch up Beterbiev. But if there was another 3 rounds, I would put all my money on Beterbiev.
Yeah.
But like his cardio, Bivol's cardio wasn't enough to maintain the power at the volume that he was putting out. And I think Archer just caught onto it once round 9 ended. And then 11, 12, he was able to kind of just sit through all his shots and knowing that he couldn't keep up with the cardio. So he just pressured. And that's how I feel. That's what, when I look at it, that's what
I feel how you feel. I feel how you feel. I feel how you feel. But, the thing I was going to say is,
I do think
Huh?
I do.
What'd you say that?
No, I do think he did enough in the earlier rounds.
Okay.
Yeah. So
You're gonna go. Oh, you're going against me now on this guy's side. I see how it is, Sugar Bomb. Go ahead, Gary.
Your point.
Nah, don't worry about him. Don't let him talk. Don't let him get you out of there. Don't let him get you out of there. Here's the thing is my opinion is that, you know, when you talk about his style got him tired, I don't think his style got him tired or anything like that. Because I listened to his interview. He said he wasn't tired.
Yeah, right.
He said he wasn't tired. That
he didn't look
actually
tired
tried to.
He didn't look tired to you. He didn't look
Not
tired.
to me, he did. I'm not gonna lie. He did.
Okay.
He did. But I think his arms were tired, not necessarily his legs. And I think the arms go before the legs. Sugar Bombs, you can tell me if that's true. You're the main fighter here. Is that true?
That's exactly what I was going to touch on, because leading up to this Reels fight, I was doing boxing sparring, and I did five different sessions. The first 2 sessions was just me getting caked on because I couldn't punch from absorbing too much. And I wasn't used to a volume like that, because kickboxing sparring, it's different volume. There's more kicks involved. Boxing is just hands. So as you're blocking and taking punches, I didn't realize the effect it had on the cardio of my shoulder. I feel like that's with Bivol. It wasn't his legs or his lungs. It was just his arms probably couldn't handle the power of Artur.
Yep.
So I agree 100%.
Yeah, see, George, I'm schooling you, George. I got Sugar Bomb to help me.
I was tired in a way. It wasn't like.
But he even showed in the interview his hands were swollen. His hand was swollen from taking the punishment from getting punched in his hands. He showed it.
Well, I mean, it's gonna. I mean, if they have a rematch, it's not going to be any different, really. I mean, he's going to have to absorb it, you know?
Yeah, it's absorbing it and everything like that. He showed it but to my point is, a lot of those shots were getting hit by the gloves. They were coming through still sometimes, but it takes away some of the shot a little bit when it's going through both of the gloves. And I the only reason why I said what I said is because I've been in a situation where I was boxing a guy and I could still move my legs, but I couldn't lift my hands up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I can't lift them up. It's heavy. These gloves feel like weights. I just need to keep running around because I can't defend myself. I can't punch back. You know what I mean? I can't really, the shoulders, the everything, you can't. And so I felt like that's what happened to him. I felt like in the 9th round, he did enough powering up. Even the 10th round, he came out firing and then he stopped. He was like, I can't do this no more. I'm tired. And so that's what I think warned him more than anything. But I mean, like, I just feel like when you talk about clean shots, effective shots, he had more of that. And when I mentioned CompuBox,
he did.
And when I mentioned CompuBox, I'm not mentioning CompuBox to say that's who won the fight. But it's almost like when you watch the NFL Combine. I think this guy is fast. Let me see his 40 time. Oh, he ran to 4.2. Oh, he is fast. So I think this guy won this round. Let me look at the CompuBox. Oh, he did land more at a higher percentage, or he did land more power punches, or he was whatever it was. At the end of the day, CompuBox numbers, Bivol had landed more punches, even though he threw about 200 punches less. He was 50% for power punches. And I understand power punches is everything but a jab. And all those weren't clean. And all those weren't clean. I understand it. But still, from 50% to 20-something%, I got the numbers right here. 20-something% is showing that he was landing the cleaner, more effective punches throughout the round. Even the judges gave Artur Beterbiev round 3. They gave him that round.
I didn't give him that. I didn't give him that round.
Yeah, you did. All the judges did.
And the UK broadcasters were scoring it just like I had. They were scoring it just like I had.
I'm just saying, Artur Beterbiev, only judge that gave Arthur Beterbiev, those middle rounds, most of those middle rounds was the dude that had it 8-4, which was 116 to 112.
Yeah,
And that was crazy.
Let
that
me-
was the
let
only
me-
dude that did that.
Yeah.
No other judge did that.
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
I
Mike
thought-
was saying something.
I heard 116, 112 for Beterbiev. I was like, yeah, what? That's not.
By the way,
And
Michael.
my thing is, I agree with
Michael,
Eddie Hearn. Not one judge gave it to Bivol. It would have been different if one judge had Beterbiev, one judge had Bivol, and the middle judge either had a draw or Beterbiev. I would say at least nobody gave it to him. That's crazy.
He did have a draw.
That's crazy work.
He did have a draw in there. He did have a draw in there.
Another one was.
I mean, that's still crazy. I can see the draw.
I scored it a draw.
I can see the draw.
Let me defend that Beterbiev card because I don't agree with it. You know, if I'm being honest with you guys, I had the first 5 rounds, like I told you, Bivol, and then I only gave him 8 after that. But 6, I told you guys 6 was a toss-up round. If I give that round to Bivol, Bivol wins, right? I didn't see any other round. 6 was iffy, and I gave it to Beterbiev. I didn't see any other round I can give to Beterbiev, right? So for me, it's impossible for Beterbiev to win if I was the judge. He got a draw, is what I saw. But I could have, in my mind, it was a debate for me. Do I give round 6 to Beterbiev or Bivol? I ended up giving it to Beterbiev. Had I given it to Bivol, Bivol would have won. But so for me, I just don't see any world where Beterbiev would have won, right? But let me make the argument there because I had a pretty good conversation with Coach Collinsworth, who had Beterbiev. He said 8-4-7-5 at best for Beterbiev. He said he had Beterbiev winning.
I gotta speak to coach. And
I said, well, you guys know where I'm coming from. I'm trying to measure significant strikes. I said, well, where's your scorecard? I mean, what's the discrepancy between us? He gave Beterbiev in the first 6 rounds. He gave him like 3 rounds or something like that. So it was different. And he told me it was because you guys don't see it. He says, but there were adjustments made. There were things that Artur did, I guess maybe related to like boxing IQ and ring generalship and things like that. But maybe he would do a better job articulating it than me. But me personally, I just, there was no world for me in where Beterbiev won that fight. It was either a draw or Bivol by 1. You know what I mean? That's how it goes for me. Draw or Bivol by 1. Even though our rounds are different. So before we continue, I want to implore everybody, please join the channel. It's just $9.99 a month. You help us build this fantastic platform to talk about fights and build magnificent fighters like we have in here with us. Sugar Bomb Claycomb, who's going to be competing November 23rd at FightersRep 27. Don't miss it. Tickets are now on sale, and they're going fast, baby. FightersRep.com. Get your tickets. Get your live stream. Come out to the beautiful Commerce Casino and check out Sugar Bomb and a slew of other amazing fights. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and follow Sugar Bomb on Instagram. Sugar Bomb, where do they follow you?
MichaelClaycomb.cka. That is my Instagram handle. Look me up. You can also just look up Sugar Bomb Claycomb. Find me there too.
Awesome.
Yeah,
so on to the next subject. I mean, obviously we disagree here, right? A little bit on who got what happened here. I'm okay.
I got some more smoke, but go ahead. You want to back out? That's fine.
I'm more okay with a draw. I'm not really okay. I can't even say I'm 100% okay with Beterbiev winning. I would have been happier with a draw, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Okay.
But I definitely didn't see it the way you guys did. That being said, Gary, you can mention anything else you want to mention, but then I want us to segue into what happens next. What do we do next?
Okay. The only thing I want to say is you had fighters Hello? I'm here. You got me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. I seen the screen freeze a little bit, but I didn't know if it was my end or not. But anyways, It may be my hurricane internet. Anyway, so, no, I was just saying that, you know, he spoke about Bivol spoke about like, hey, like he watched a lot of Sugar Ray Leonard and Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler, and he wanted to keep moving more. I thought he moved more than he normally does a lot.
Yeah.
He moves, but not that much. And he said that's what he was watching. Sugar Ray Leonard the second time he fought Duran and Marvin Hagler. And you know, Sugar Ray at the end of the rounds tried to flurry to steal rounds. And when Sugar Ray is his favorite fighter, he said. And Sugar Ray, when he fought Duran, he moved around the ring a lot. My only thing was, I was like, well, I mean, yeah, it's cool to watch a guy do that. Are you prepared to be able to do that for 12 rounds?
You're also a light heavyweight.
Yeah. Sugar Ray Leonard was 160 when he fought Marvin Hagler. He was 147 when Duran, I think it was. So it's kind of like, are you sure you want to emulate?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Clay.
No, I'm just way different, you know, like the weights they don't understand. Like you can move a lot easier at 147, 160 than 175.
Yeah.
Big.
Yeah,
but
so
I gotta give him
he
credit,
said I don't know if you've seen it, George. He said he thinks the next fight he should move more. And I'm like, more? He said, I think I didn't move enough.
I think he needs to find.
That's crazy to me.
I think he was exhausted in the second half of that fight. I think he needs to measure his pace a little bit more. I think he needs to do what he did in the first half of that fight, because he was hitting Beterbiev with some shit in that first half. And I said to myself, wow, like this dude is elite. I mean, this is the guy that beat Canelo Alvarez. Sure. And then the sixth round, it just
did you hear what he said about Canelo and Beterbiev though?
No.
Canelo has a bigger power shot, but that's because Artur doesn't throw it all in one shot like Canelo does, though. Because
he said that. He said,
I think it'd be way, you know.
He said Arthur. He said, like Clay Combs said, he said Arthur, every punch he throws hurts, like it's with power. He said Canelo waits and throws, and he puts everything. He said if it's one punch, Canelo, but if it's multiple punches, it's Arthur. So and he said, because I don't think Arthur tries to throw hard every time, but he does. Canelo, when he winds up for that one shot, he's trying to really hurt you.
Well, he's just supernaturally strong. I mean, you see him do bouncing push-ups off his like fingers and fists and his wrist and stuff. So that guy's crazy. Let me ask you this though. You know, what do we do next? You know, Turkey, Michael, Sugar Bomb. Turkey Al-Sheikh calls us from Saudi Arabia. He says, put the Sugar Bomb on the phone, and he puts you on the phone. And he says, this guy, Sugar Bomb, he has the best hair I ever see in my life. What do we do next? So he asks you, what do we do next? What do we do next? And you're getting a Pantene Pro V sponsorship for $10 million. If you tell me what we do next with these two guys. Do we run it back or do they go, find some other fights before they do it again? What happens next, Mike?
I don't think there's anyone else that can really put up a better fight than those two. I'd say run it back. I really think it'd be a good rematch. I think what Bivol could do better is, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. He was starting to run more in that second half, and I don't think that was because of a lack of cardio. I think it was just him trying to deal with that power. Like he didn't have it in his arms to keep taking shots, so he had to move more. So I think for Bivol going forward, just work on getting better cardio, not taking too many punches as he was. That way his arms don't get all, beat up from the power of Beterbiev. And I think for Beterbiev is just start putting the pressure on earlier, like start setting up earlier and try to break him down as soon as you can. Because I think Artur is aware that Bivol respects his power. And I think that started to show more and more in those later rounds. So knowing Bivol probably just needs to get some better cardio, work on his shoulder. That way he can take the shots instead of having to run like that, because I think it swayed the judge's opinion just seeing him run because he wasn't getting clipped, but it was enough to hurt his shoulder.
Yeah. And he's bouncing off the ropes, and the guy's hitting him, and he's running off to the side. He's getting hit off the. I mean, I thought it kind of looked ugly, if I'm being honest, and I think it did sway the judges. Who do you think wins in the rematch if we do it?
If Bivol can get his cardio, and I think Bivol takes it. If he does exactly what he did in those first 7-8 rounds, I feel like he's gravy. If he can in it, I feel like he outclassed him in the first rounds showed. But if Archer can do what he did in this fight and start to break him down sooner before like the later rounds, then I think Beterbiev is going to take it.
I think that's problematic. Gary, Turkey gives you a call, brother. He says
you might be surprised by what I'm going to say.
You have no hair, brother, but tell me what we do with this fight.
All right, you might be surprised by what I'm going to say is that obviously I think he needs to be ran back. He's Beterbiev already said he doesn't want to deal with Canelo and I guess him being the A side demanding it be here, it be there, this way, him controlling everything. Beterbiev already said he doesn't want to deal with that. So we know it's not Canelo. If it's not going to be Canelo, it has to be Bivol again. And I think I'm kind of I don't know who wins the next rematch because I think it's going to be a lot of adjustments. I think Beterbiev is better at going at the body of Bivol. Bivol has that high guard. He leads. I seen Beterbiev, I forgot what round it was, rip a shot to Bivol's body, and I was like, ooh, that was a mean one.
Yeah.
And I was like, he needs to do more of that. Rip his body, slow them legs down. Like, I think if Beterbiev focus, I heard the announcer saying he think both guys need to focus on the body a little bit more. I think if he focuses on the body more, he can be more effective. Now, Bivol said he was a little bit cautious because, I think Bivol has the confidence now of saying, hey, I can let my hands go. Like, I can catch this dude. I can hurt this dude. I hurt him. And I can catch this dude if I let my hands go just a little bit more and not be as cautious. And I don't let up in the later rounds. And like Mike said, work on my cardio. Work on I know I'm going to get beat up in this fight. I heard Andre Ward talking about a fight that he did not want to fight this guy. He said, show me the people I got to fight because I know this is going to be a tough, bruising fight. He wanted, but he was like, dude, I'm going to go home sore after this fight. I don't really want to do it. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what you got to prepare for going in the ring with Arthur Beterbiev. He's going to beat my arms up. My arms are going to be sore. I know this was going to happen. Kind of like what Clay Combs said, like, kind of pace yourself. Kind of know when to pace and let off the gas a little bit and not get hit as much in your arms, kind of back him off a little bit. I thought that's one critique I could have of him. I thought he could have stood his ground in the middle of the ring a little bit more and backed him off instead of constantly having to moving off the ropes. Just a little bit more. And you can save that energy and you not get your arms all beat up. Yeah. But, I don't know. What you think, George?
Well, for me, I mean, I think it was a very close fight. I mean, even if we listen to you guys, right? I mean, Gary, you said 7-5, pretty much. And Michael, your card's about the same as Gary's. I saw it a draw. One of the judges saw it a draw. We got Coach Collinsworth thinking Beterbiev won, and we had the judges thinking Beterbiev won, except for one who had it a draw like myself. I want to say the English broadcast had it like you guys. I think they had Bivol up 1 or 2 points, but they scored it. I remember for the first 5 rounds, I think they had it a shutout the way I did, kind of. So very close fight. And I think like Michael said, like the Sugar Bomb said, there's nobody else really in this division to give these guys a run. It was such a close fight. Everybody wants to see what happens if they do it again. I think I want to watch it again. And I'm interested in the adjustments that are made. Like, does Bivol improve his cardio and, make what happened in that first 4 or 5 rounds continue throughout the fight? Or does, like Sugar Bomb says, Beterbiev break him down, figure him out earlier? Does he know the blueprint now on what to do? Because something changed in that 6th round. I mean, we figure it was Bivol's cardio, but it could be something Beterbiev was doing as well, right? I mean, maybe he stepped on the gas a bit more. Maybe he found certain punches, certain angles. Who knows? So I'm very excited to see what happens, and obviously I would make the fight next. Before we continue, guys, again, be sure to subscribe to the channel, join the channel, check out FightersRep 27. It goes down November 23rd. And of course, we'll have Michael Sugarbomb Claycomb on that card, who's always, always, always in an exciting fight. So, Michael, let's segue a little bit, right, into yourself. You know, do you have a bit of time left, or I mean, we've held you for a bit? Okay.
For the next 2 hours, I'm here.
Okay. I don't think
we ain't doing 2 hours.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that long, but we definitely, you know, want to ask you some questions. I mean, first and foremost, how have you been? I'm glad we found you a fight, you know, for November 23rd. And, you know, are you in training camp? Did you start? I mean, what's going on with you right now?
Yeah, I took a good week or 2 off after the real fight. I got sick. I actually got sick the day of the fight, which really, really sucked. Which is crazy. I didn't even get a chance to warm up, actually, funny enough. I remember the fight for me, it was right mission, and we're like, okay, like let's loosen up a little bit. And then the fight got first round TKO, and they rushed us out, the IKF guys, and I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't even get to hit mitts. I was feeling wheezy, like nauseous, a little tired.
Yeah.
And then in the morning, I woke up sore throat, coughing, sneezing, felt like crap. And so I took 2 weeks after that. Now I'm back in training camp, feeling good as ever. Got over all my little injuries, and feeling good. I'm you know, just doing the same old strength conditioning, cardio, pad work, sparring.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you something real quick.
Yeah.
You're looking a little bigger, bro. What you been doing? Like, I see the traps and look that, like the karate uniform fitting a little different now, man. What you been doing?
Hey, that's all.
Seriously, I've been looking at the whole time. I see his neck. I'm like, damn, he like he filled out a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He is. He's mid-20s now, Gary. He's what, 24 now, Mike? So he's still getting that man muscle coming in.
That's what everyone's been saying. So, you know, shout out to my strength conditioning coach, Matthias Narducci.
Yeah,
I've been working with him. He's a Olympic weightlifter trainer. He did professional.
Okay.
He works with track and field athletes, professional rugby teams that went to the World Cup. You know, he's the guy responsible for what you see, and as well as me growing more and more into my man body as well. But I've been getting that a lot. Everyone's been saying I look bigger. People are talking a little bit too. They're like, man, like Sugar Bomb got some little more like stank. It's like, you know,
yeah.
I'm like, I'm just doing the same thing that I always do.
Yeah, you're about to turn into Honey Bun Bomb from Sugar Bomb, bud.
Nah, like, but from your last few fights, real talk, I've seen a lot of improvement, and I'm not saying it's like I'm some aficionado or whatever.
Gary,
I just been looking like, damn, Mike's getting better, man. I'm like, Mike's getting better. He's got that thing. One last thing I would say is, from me looking at you, I seen you get. I mean, the hands, the move. You always had good movement, feet, but the feet have gotten even better with the pivoting, turning people, things, and your hands have gotten better. You working on inside fighting? Because I think that's the last step for you, getting inside. Because you like distance. I know that's karate thing, and I know that the distance, judging the distance, you do any inside?
I don't do any inside work, honestly. I do a little bit. I'll work on a couple of defense things, but for the most part, when I'm sparring, I'm always keeping people at distance. And when they get close, it's okay. Work from here to get back out to distance. So I mean, I guess you can say it's inside work, but it's just to get back to range.
Yeah,
keep it at my range, at my pace. I kind of like to drown people, if that makes sense. Kind of just get
I
them
got you.
used to the point that they don't really know what to do. And then by that time, they've already gotten hit so much that they're already tired. Kind of
Yeah.
death by slow.
1,000 cuts.
Yeah. Death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael, you've got like what? You've rattled off like three wins in amateur competition like in a row now, right? I mean, you had one tournament fight or something like that, but as far as like amateur fight nights, like what are you like three wins in a row now, or
In a row? Yeah, 3 wins.
yeah. So I mean, you're surging pretty good, man. Like you're coming up, and you've got a lot of momentum behind you. You've beaten some really good guys, and now you're taking on Ricky Maldonado. I mean, strong guy, out of Blitz Muay Thai. It's a reputable gym, man. I mean, how do you feel about this matchup, and how do you feel? Does it feel better going into it with some of this momentum that you've got going on?
Oh yeah. Having momentum is amazing. To anyone that kind of thinks like they need to take breaks and like, no, I agree with what you say, George. Like, stay active. The more active you get, the more experience, and then it's easier for you to kind of just put one on top of another and just keep rising. I feel like since the Brady fight, the Thomas fight when I lost, since that fight till now, it's been a completely different trajectory. I feel in terms of how I approach fighting, just everything in general. I feel like I've been able to level up, and that's credit to being consistent. I feel like that's been the biggest blessing, is just having after show kind of help me just fit into my shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in consistency because, like Gary, I'm a Miami boy, I'm a Florida boy, and you go out there, you play sports, and it's all about reps, and working and bringing that dog out. Gary, nobody knows this more than you, man. Football coach, kind of, maybe you don't agree, but kind of give me your mentality on staying active, getting reps in. What's the importance of that as someone who coaches football and played football, his whole life?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's just football. I think any sport. I mean, obviously, George, you played basketball. These guys get up 500 shots, 600, 700 shots. You've also trained in kickboxing. You know how. I remember when I first started doing a boxing with my cousin who was a pro boxer. And it was doing things, and then when I actually sparred somebody, it wasn't even thinking about it. You did second nature, but it's different from sparring to fighting. When you actually fight somebody, I'm not a fighter. Clay Combs is, so he can speak to this. But when you actually fight somebody, it's different than sparring. It's adjustments made, and it just teaches you new levels, and it's more at stake to me. It's more like it's more serious. Like, as far as you can make a mistake, you say I can correct this later. There's no correcting. It's lighter gloves. It's on. So you have to learn how to deal with that pressure and deal with, everything that's going on in the moment. Like, I can practice all I want to in football, but when the game comes, no, there's no more practice. If I let this guy score on me, it's touchdown. And so it's in game or in boxing or whatever sport you're playing, when it's the practice helps you get prepared. Like, I even an Army guy told me, he was in the war and all this. He had PTSD. He was like, practice helps it like snap in. You kind of go out of body and you kind of just do everything they taught you. You're not trying to. So that's what practice does. But then the actual live fighting or live game, and you get that pressure and you learn how to calm yourself down and adjust in the moment and not just run on autopilot in my mind, and really start thinking and adjusting and things like that. So I think fighters, when they first start out, they should fight a bunch, because we know when they get big, they fight probably 2-3 times a year. Yeah. But when they first start off, they're fighting like 6-7 times a year.
Yeah, especially in the amateurs.
Because you need to get that work.
Yeah, especially in the amateurs.
Get used to it. Yeah, get used to it. That's why you got some of these amateurs like Lomachenko and like and like Beterbiev, or you get
remember Rigondeaux?
Yeah, that has so many fights. They seen so much stuff. Had to deal with it in live time. To now that this is in their computer. This is in the computer box. Yeah, it's like, well, I've seen this before. I know what this. I know how this goes. I can do this. I can do that. And you kind of can put it into it. It's in any sport though. That's my thing. It's in any sport. Oh, this guy playing me this way. I can do this. I can do that. The more reps is the more better. Only difference between football and boxing and MMA is we take more damage practicing. Like those other sports you practice and you don't take damage, right? That.
Right. And credit to the Sugar Bomb, man. I mean, you've been very active, man. You've been very active. You're still just 24 years old. You know, I think you're doing it right. I've told you and your dad, I think you guys are doing it right. You know, and I'm always trying to. I tell all the fighters all the time, Gary, go get your reps, man. I don't care. They tell me, oh, we're going to be loyal to you. We only want to fight for FightersRep. I told them, I don't care nothing about that, bro. Go get your reps, get your experience, go become a pro. I'm not going to make you sign a promotional contract if you don't want to. Go get your money. Go live your life. If FightersRep's here, kickboxing is here, we're going to be here. But go get your reps, and I really appreciate what you're doing, Michael. I gotta say, I really appreciate what you're doing. Now, let me ask you, man. I mean, what do you know about Maldonado, if anything? You know, and you know, what are you looking forward to showing us on November 23rd? Well, Gary might be there, by the way. Gary might be there. I got a feeling in my.
Trying to work on something, man. I'm trying to work on something.
I got a feeling right here. We might have a Miami intruder in Los Angeles then, but
I hope that prediction is right, just like that.
Well, what do you know? But what do you know about Maldonado? You know, what are you looking to show us in this coming fight?
Oh man, well, unfortunately, I don't know anything about Maldonado. I know obviously the fight's at 165. He's 5'10". I've had a couple of friends tell me some things that he's a chunky fighter, like not chunky. He's a big fighter. He's thick. He hits hard. Kind of kickboxing mixed with Muay Thai kind of style, a little bit flat-footed, but at times can be bouncy. I've heard people tell me it's fight of the night written all over it because of the clash of styles. I could personally care less about all that stuff. I don't really care what people have when they come into the fight with me, because I'm not focused on them. For me, it's just about me. Like, I gotta focus on staying on my game, make sure that my mental is there. I'm not losing out on whatever I'm doing, you know? In terms of what I plan to show, I mean, I feel like, well, I said this in the video recap when I had mine on my Instagram. This last fight that I had with Mark Reels was the first time I felt settled in the Lions Den. I felt every other time I fought at FightersRep, I've always had adrenaline dumps, always get gassed. I can never stay composed. I get too tense. And,
like, are you saying I give you gas?
No. I'm saying I get gas.
No, but he's saying exactly what we're saying. Through his keep fighting, he gets that adrenaline out now.
Yeah.
He gets the. You ever seen what? Something about Mary?
What? Mary?
Yeah. Did you ever see the movie?
I've seen it.
He knows what I'm talking about. Something about Mary. You ever seen it?
Never seen that. I never seen that.
Okay, it's with Ben Stiller. What's I forgot her name. Cameron Diaz. Ben Stiller, Cameron Diaz.
Okay.
And before he goes on a date, you got to get the adrenaline off, bro. If you don't know what I mean, he kind of.
All right, we're about to kick Gary out the room right now.
Hey, look, he did that. They told him, hey, bro, before the date, because you have that clarity once you get that out of you. I'm just saying, before the date, you might want to tell your old lady, not your old lady, because you got to put on too much work with your old lady. Just do it yourself.
Fighters are not supposed to do that. It'll affect their legs, Gary.
No. That's why I said don't do it with your lady, because your lady wants you to do work. But you got to do it by yourself.
Oh my God. See, this always happens as we approach the end of the podcast, Sugar Bomb. We start, the testosterone starts to go up, and then me and Gary get out of hand. But tell me what you were saying, because it's interesting that you've had so many fights with us that the last fight was the only one you finally felt settled in. Because I think this goes. I want to say this before you answer me, right? Because I noticed this playing sports, and I'm sure Gary noticed this playing sports, and I see this with my kid and his team and all his friends and everything else. You could be one guy in that practice room, and you could be a completely different guy in the game, man. And some people, it's just natural for them, and some people take a little bit longer, and some people just can never find it. And then some people are trash in practice and much better in a game under pressure. I mean, it's just weird. So kind of, yeah. So speak to me about that.
Well, I was actually going to get to that. I felt like this was the first time I fought, and it looked like the way that I spar. I've never been able to replicate my sparring in a fight, and I hear so many people that are around me say, like, "Man, I'm trying to fight how I spar." Like I need to get better at that, and it really comes down to that. How well do you handle the pressure? Because you got to stay composed, and like FightersRep is the best production. Everyone's got the eyes on you in that ring. Like, you put up the best show. There's all the lights, the camera, you got the setup. So there's that pressure. And for me, it's always been hard to manifest myself and kind of just stay calm until this last one. So now going into my next fight, I'm kind of just excited to blossom out a little more, kind of put a little bit more cherry on top style, kind of just blossom. Like I said, it was the first time I felt like I was sparring in there.
I love to hear that. Man.
Yeah.
I love to hear that, because the whole idea behind FightersRep, right, is especially for the amateurs, right, not for the pros because they're already pros, but for the amateurs, it's a preparatory school, right? It's let me get these guys ready, or these girls ready for the next level. And for you to tell me that, that's something that came with experience, just like the reps we were talking about. That's something that came with experience. You finally found where you can just take a deep breath maybe and be like, okay, like, I'm just having fun out here. I'm just sparring out here. I'm flowing out here. And I love that. I love to hear that.
Yeah, it really took me. Well, this was Mark Reels was my ninth fight or ninth fight in the Lions Den, something like that. It took me 8 different FightersRep fights to finally feel like, which is why I go back to like what you were saying, like, be consistent, get the work in, because you need that to get to that.
Yeah, but that's not unreasonable, right, Gary? I mean, that's like 8 games. That's like if you played 8 games. I mean, you talk to me all the time about your youth football players and how, they show up and it takes them almost a whole year sometimes of playing before they plug in.
Yeah, no. Like George said, I had a kid that, I mean, it didn't, to the end of the year, he really started to get it. And then the next year we come out and he's like, okay. Then it was one kid that was half of the year, took him half a year. His first year, took him half the year. By the second half, he was like a second best player on the team.
Wow.
But it just took more getting the reps, getting used to it. And I was going to say this, and I'm going to sound old because I got the gray hairs in right now. I ain't dying. So like watching you, I kind of sometimes feel like a proud father. I'm like, he's getting better, boy. He's getting better. like, because I had talks with you on the podcast, and I feel like and I know your mentality, how hard you work and everything. I'm like, almost like I'm aging myself now, but I'm like, damn, I'm kind of proud about it. But not just you, other fighters also that I kind of look at and I kind of see the development. But I see the development in certain fighters. I'm like, whoa, he got better since the last time. Oh, he's really, and to what George said, that's what he wanted with this format. And it was just like, I'm like, oh yeah, I see the different things he worked on and different things, how he's handling this, how he's handling that. And it's like, oh, Okay. I see you. So, hey,
It's
trust me, I'm
amazing.
like almost a proud dad over here.
Yeah, and I agree with Gary. And Gary's like that because Gary loves sports. Gary's a sportsman just like me, and Gary coaches. Gary coaches young kids, so he's kind of doing the same thing. I mean, a promoter is not necessarily a coach, but it's the same thing. And for me, I'll say that it's one of the main motivating factors for me at this point is absolutely seeing you guys just
Level up.
get better and better and better. And it makes me very proud, right? When I see a guy like yourself who goes to another promotion and wins a title, right? Because he's that damn good. You know, he can go somewhere else with the experience he's gotten and go pick up some gold. So I love that, you know, and I hope we continue to do that. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm coming for that belt, man. I know I've struck twice now, but third time's the charm.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, we really appreciate you guys joining us this evening for the Fighters Rep podcast. We're over an hour in already. We do this every Monday live. We talk about the fights, me and Gary. Sometimes we'll go live immediately after the fights. Don't forget to get your tickets to Fighters Rep 27 on November 23rd, where you'll get to see Sugar Bomb Clay come throw down in the Lion's Den, which is where he belongs, and where he's had some incredible highlights, along with right now we're sitting at 16 other amazing fights, including Caldwell versus Tariq Wright, which I'm so high for that one, Michael. We've got Gutierrez fighting Stuart Smith for Jason Granado's light heavyweight title, which he vacated since we kind of lost him to MMA. Hopefully we get him back at some point. You know what I mean? And just and the main event, of course, Edgar Fraga versus Aaron Hotwater Fawcett, Gary's favorite nickname on the planet. I mean, that's the main event. Edgar Fraga, classic fight team, Aaron Hotwater Fawcett. And it's going to be Aaron defending his light welterweight title. And that's part of the reason we made it the main event. It's a guy defending his title, and we wanted to give him that respect to make it the main event. And, I think everybody knows whenever Edgar Fraga's in a fight, and Aaron Hotwater Fawcett's in a fight, I mean, it's always big drama, big action. So, I'm excited about those, man.
How many title fights are going to be there?
So far, we have three. Far, we have three title fights. So, we'll see how it pans out. I mean, we just locked in a rematch between Sergio Rodriguez and Ruben Avila. Gary, I think you remember that fight. That's going to be a real fun one. But man, it's just Fawcett, for me, Fawcett versus Fraga is crazy considering their style. Gutierrez versus Smith is going to be amazing. Gutierrez has just been killing it on the scene lately. And then that Caldwell versus Wright fight, Sugar Bomb. I mean, holy cow.
I haven't seen Caldwell fight in like 2 years, I want to say. So I'm excited because last time I saw him, he was defending his belt. Yeah.
And Tariq, I mean, this new talent that just came up, kind of out of nowhere has just been killing it on the scene, so I look forward to it. Anything you want to say before we let you go, Sugar Bomb?
No, man. I always love being on the podcast. I always feel like it's a really big blessing, I don't get to do much stuff, so this is fun for me, and being on here with you, Gary, it's fun, like doing this reaction. I didn't know what was gonna happen, and my dad told me like, you're gonna be on the podcast tonight at 6, like doing the Beterbiev and Bivol recap. I was like, oh, okay, cool, like let's do it.
Hey, anytime you want to lend us your knowledge, and help me team up against George.
And I specifically wanted to get you on because for me it was a double whammy, right? I mean, you've got your fight coming up at Fighters Rep, and you also your dad told me even like he loves Dimitri Bivol. He kind of, models his boxing after him. So I thought it was a good fit, and I appreciate you being on here.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah.
Gary, anything you want to say before we let you go?
Well, I real quick, Edward Dufa said, only fools like Ward said, this is a robbery. I wouldn't call Andre Ward one of the greatest boxers ever a fool. He didn't say it was a robbery. He just was like, no way that he won that fight.
Yeah.
So, I get it. And like I said, there's a lot of Shakur Stevenson, Clarissa Shields, they're all in the camp. But I seen Sean Porter saying the same thing, that he didn't think Beterbiev. But it wasn't a robbery. Maybe like when you, as a dad, you'll learn this. You'll learn this sugar bomb later on in life. When you get home from work and you take your money out your pockets and you put it on your dresser, your kids come steal that. That's maybe what it was. It's not really stealing because you're dead, but they take the little quarters, the nickels, maybe like that. That's what it was. It wasn't a robbery. Nobody had a gun, but they just came and took a little change from you. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
I remember doing that to my dad, except not with quarters.
Yeah.
Dollar bills. Just take his money.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, we appreciate you guys joining us. Be sure to do so every Monday, and we'll see you guys soon. You two gentlemen have a great night. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes, sir.